Now let's take a look at the classwork section, and we're going to see how we can add an assignment. So I'm going to click on the classwork tab, and on the classwork tab up at the very top, you're going to see a button with a plus sign that says create. There's lots of options of things that you can create inside of the classwork page. You can create an assignment. An assignment you would be able to give a grade value to. You can also assign a due date on an assignment. You can do a quiz assignment, which is just like an assignment, but it automatically builds a Google form for you to be able to give your students a quiz. You can pose a question. So this would be great for like an exit ticket or just kind of to get a read of how students or if students understood a particular comment. You can add material. So material is when you do not want something back from the students. A material would be if you had something that you wanted them to read, an article or a presentation you wanted them to look at. Material is a good section for that. You also have the ability to reuse post. So if you had something from a previous classroom, you could reuse that post. And then we also have the ability to add topics, and topics help keep us organized. And we're going to talk about topics in a later video. So I'm going to come to create, and I'm going to choose an assignment. And on my assignment here, I'm going to have this sample assignment that I'm doing is going to be a hyperdoc that works with the novel Wonder, and I can give my instructions. And remember that you just kind of want to keep your instructions very brief. If you have a lot of instructions, it's a good idea for you to be able to add a doc that had more detailed instructions. Another pro tip with the title, and I saw somebody do this and I thought this was a great idea, is they numbered it. And that just helped them be able to search those assignments a little bit easier. But then it also was helpful when they turned on the grade passback between classroom and SIS. So those assignments really stayed in the correct location. So once I create my assignments, I can put my details in the assignments. And then I also have the ability to add to this assignment or to create something directly inside the assignment. So if I click on add, I want to add a document to this assignment. So I'm going to go into Google Drive. And when I go into Google Drive, what's nice is that it pulls my recent. So I was actually in Drive before I did this so that I could pull the example that I wanted to bring over. And it remembers that that is recent. So that's really nice. When I add something to my assignment, I have a couple options with that. So I have to give permissions at this point in time to let my students know what I want them to do with the assignment. So there's times where I just want students to view something that I have assigned. There's times where I want them to edit it. So we're going to be working on that collaboratively. Or there's times where I want to make a copy for each student, which is really great, especially for our younger learners, because when I make a copy for each student, it automatically puts their name with the title of the assignment, so it keeps it a little bit more organized. So I'm going to click make a copy for each student just so we can see what that looks like. I also want to show you on the assignment that you also have the ability to create directly in that assignment builder. So when I click on my plus button, I can create a doc or a slide or sheet, a drawing or a form directly there. So if I want to I want to have a assignment that's a writing prompt, I might go ahead and create a doc, and I might go ahead and put that writing prompt in there and make a copy for each student so each student can complete it from there. It is very helpful for our students if we add those kind of scaffolds to their assignments. However, students can also add their own things to assignments, so they could create their own docs as well. If I look over on the right-hand side, this is going to give me a little more detail about my assignment before I assign it. So I can decide which class it's for. So once again, I can keep it in the class that I'm working in, or if I want to assign it to multiple classes, I can do that too. I also have the ability to differentiate for students. So if it's only an assignment that I need a portion of my class to complete, I'm going to drop this down and deselect students. I can give it a point value. I can give it a due date. When I give it a due dates are really helpful because when I give it a due date, it's going to automatically show up on the calendar. And once that calendar is also showing up for the students, so students can view their calendar and they can see what's upcoming as well. So I can add a due date. And I'm going to make this due on the 15th. I can have a time's optional. I can change the topic. So I briefly mentioned that topics can help us stay organized. So I can add a topic right here. So if I want to create my topic is going to be reading. You'll notice underneath it, I also have the ability to add a rubric. So if I want to set up those expectations for the assignment ahead of time. And then something new to Google is that they have originality reports as well. And when I'm ready, I can either click the assign button or once again, I have a drop-down menu and that drop-down menu is going to allow me to schedule that. If I want to schedule it for later, I can save the draft or I can assign it. And in this case, I'm just going to assign it so that we can see what that looks like. Wait for it. It's coming. And boom, here we see our classwork now. And now you'll notice that I have a topic. I have an assignment underneath the topic. You can see the due date as well. And over on the left-hand side, now that I created a topic, it's starting to create a navigation for that classwork section. Just another way to help keep our students organized and help them to have just ease of finding things. You'll also notice up top that I have access to Meet, Google Calendar, and the class drive folder as well.